I think we're good. Just gonna give Holyoke Media a second. All right, everyone. It is 7:03. I'm gonna call this meeting to order. This is the March 4th meeting of the Holyoke City Council, and the clerk will call the roll.
Anderson Burgos.
Here.
Bartley.
Here.
Devine. Here. Givner.
Here.
Graney.
Here.
Jordan.
Here.
McGrath Smith.
Here.
Murphy Ramboletti.
Here.
Ocasio.
Here.
Israel Rivera.
Here.
Jenny Rivera.
She is on Zoom.
Sullivan.
Here.
Bacon.
Here.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
Which is
one nation, under God, indivisible.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless America.
And the city of Holyoke.
And the city council.
Thank you. And before we do anything, and before I forget, because we have some of our members on Zoom this evening, I would entertain a motion to take a roll call vote that for the purposes of this meeting would be applicable to all motions to receive, to refer items to committee, remove items from the table, place items on the table, package items together, comply with items, or suspend the rules unless there is an objection.
So moved. Second.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so tonight, this evening, Councilor Bartley's name was pulled first. And this meeting is being recorded on Zoom and on the public access station live. Thank you to our friends at Holyoke Media. And for the translation, this meeting is being translated into Spanish. And I think I did all the things. Before we get started, I do want to acknowledge that our last meeting was a difficult one. Tensions ran high, and as a result, we were not as productive as we could have been. Unfortunately, that does mean this evening we have a longer agenda, but we've done it before. I think we can do it again. It's, all of that being said, it's our responsibility as the city council to focus on the business that is before us and on the agenda this evening. And I know that we all want to serve the residents of the city to the best of our ability. That's why we're all here. We do not do this for the money or the fame. I, as the president, plan to approach tonight with professionalism and my commitment to moving forward productively. And I'm hoping that we can all just focus on the work and do the work this evening. And I do want to take a moment, if we may, for a moment of silence for Ashton Conroy and his family, Holyoke family, and just hope that they know that there's a big community of people supporting them. Thank you. Okay.
Council, Madam President,
Councilor McGrath Smith.
could we also have a moment of silence for Dave Moore?
Of course, thank you. Dave Moore, local Holyoke legend. I will personally greatly miss seeing Dave on High Street, checking in on my office, making sure pipes haven't frozen. He knew everything about every Holyoke landmark, the history of every building, the history, of course, of Mount Tom. So Dave will be greatly missed. Thank you, Councilor, for mentioning that.
Madam Chair.
Councilor Graney.
Yes, I'd like to also wish a moment of silence for the family of Maura McKenna, a beautiful Holyoke family who passed last week, and our condolences are with the family.
Thank you, Councilor. Appreciate that. So this evening, we do not have any public hearings scheduled. Public comment, there's no one signed up in the council chamber unless anyone who's in council chamber this evening didn't have the opportunity to sign up. Okay. And we do have one hand raised on Zoom. And that would be JR. JR, and for anyone listening, this evening, you have 2 minutes to say whatever you'd like, and I will give you a heads up at 30 seconds, and it's really awkward, and I don't know how to make it not awkward. I'll interrupt you when you're done. And just please make sure you state your name and address for the record, and then you'll have 2 minutes, so go ahead.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful, awesome. Thank you for your time, City Council. I am John Rivera. I go by JR. I live on 125 Cabot Street in Holyoke. I've been a longtime resident Holyoke. I was raised here. I'm talking on the behalf of the Holyoke Teachers Association bargaining situation that's going on. The acting state commissioner of elementary and secondary education, Russell Johnston, will decide within a week whether the state control of Holyoke public schools end and the city's public school educators have their full collective bargaining rights restored. Commissioner Johnston indicated to the Holyoke Teachers Association leadership that he has yet to decide whether the union will be limited in its ability to negotiate over grievance procedures and other stuff. State-appointed receiver Anthony Soto is providing input that Johnson will influence the acting commissioner's decision. Please contact Commissioner Johnson today to voice your support for a full and transparent exit from the receivership. That also, and this is the most important thing, also includes the restoration of all and every collective bargaining rights to union members so that these folks can negotiate a contract that works for every single student and every single staff. It's important that they get a voice at the table. These teachers have been waiting for years for such a pivotal moment, and they deserve better, right? Our students deserve better, and so do our teachers. And how are we going to get, the students to deserve better? Well, we give the teachers what they want, which means, better wages and better quality of life things for their jobs.
30 seconds.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Have a good night, folks.
Thank you. Get rid of that. Okay.
Madam President?
Okay, yes, that looks like it's it for public comment. Counselor Devine?
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is a legal question to take it up with Attorney Bissonnette. So first, I'd like to make a motion that we hear from Attorney Bissonnette if we should need to do that. And the reason I'm asking, because right now, what's laid on the table from what I can see is items 1 through 56 from our last meeting. And again, I'm not sure how this is done, if we take them up individually, or can we take them up all at once, get them off the table?
Okay, so I actually wanted to jog my own memory and watched the last time that we had to do this. The way we did it last time, it was the September 15th or 16th meeting, 18th, September 18th meeting. We took them one at a time, which, I mean, that's whatever the will of the body is. If you guys think it's more efficient to take everything, I don't know. But that's how we did it last time. If folks would like to hear from the law department, I'm open to whatever you guys would prefer.
I just want to make sure that if we do take up all the items together, that it's legal to do that.
Yeah, we can do that. Sorry.
What?
Madam Clerk says that we have done that before.
Okay.
So it seems like we have, I was just going to say a phrase that,
So I'll make a motion that we take up items 1 through 56.
hold on, I just saw Councilor Bacon's hand.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would just note that at least one of the items is from a prior meeting, not the last meeting.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm sorry, Councilor Devine, I cut you off.
Well, which item is Counselor Vacant talking about so that I don't?
Item 1.
One.
Item 1, okay, is that it, item 1? Okay, then I would make a motion that well, again, I want to take up item 1, so what's the best way to do that?
Just do it one at a time.
Okay, then I make a motion that we take item 1 off the table.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to take item 1 off the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay.
No.
Okay.
And if I might, I left something on everybody's desk. The Chief Keenan would really like this position, and I've also talked to Counselor Israel Rivera about perhaps putting this order into finance, which we have at a meeting on Monday, discuss it, see if this is something that we can have the chief in. We can also have the crime analyst in. I'd like to meet her, and I'd like to ask some questions. I'm sure there's other people, perhaps on finance, that might want to do that as well. And then, if this goes to finance and we come up with an agreement, whether it's to have no recommendation or have a recommendation, then we would also send it to the ordinance committee to do whatever it is that, to increase this salary.
Okay. Motion to return to finance.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded to return to send to finance. Is there any discussion? Counselor Jordan and then Counselor Givner.
All in favor of sending it to finance. I think the chair makes a great suggestion. The only thing I will say is this was coming from ordinance, just so folks remember.
Yeah.
So this will be going to finance for the first time, which is fine. So look forward to the discussion.
Okay. Thank you. Counselor Givner.
Thank you, Madam President. So I just wanted to, because I don't remember if it, was there an ordinance change to allow this to have a higher salary if it does go through?
Counselor. Yeah, I don't think so. I think this is what that order is related to.
Okay, thank you.
Do you want to add
If
to
I
that?
may, yeah. So I
Counselor
guess
Rivera.
it came up before in conversation to create the language and develop the language to adjust the salary, because that's technically what we have to do. Where it's at right now, I think they offered her the max accidentally, and to create some wiggle room for growth, we'd have to adjust the salary schedule for that particular position to increase that. But I think that it makes sense to send it to finance, allow for you guys to have whatever conversation needs to be done, and then send it back to ordinance so that we can do the policy piece around it. And but that's all depending on what's going on the conversation.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, so the motion was to send to finance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Item 2 is filed by Counselor, or is there a motion?
Yeah, motion to take up, if I can, take up items 2, 3, 4, and 56 as a package
Off the table.
off the table.
Motion's been made and seconded to take items 2, 3, 4,
And 56
and 56
off the table.
off the table as a package.
Just a point of order.
Yes, Counselor Bartley, point of order.
I'm not understanding what 56, because I see that's a letter appointing Samuel Mateo Jr.
It's a new,
to the license board.
it's a different agenda.
Oh, do I need the most recent agenda? Okay.
Which is why having it.
The one that got mailed out was the one that was
Oh, okay.
before before it was realized that something was missing from being on the table.
Got it.
Right, clerk? Okay, sorry, I didn't want to speak for you.
Okay.
Point of order set.
Thank you. Okay, so briefly, item 2 is a transfer request for $8,182.93 from local inspector to assistant building commissioner, chief inspector of wires, zoning official. Item 3 is filed by Counselor Devine, a transfer request of $5,050 from enterprise coordinator to director of receivership and city historian. 4 is a transfer request of $1,560.99 from investigator to national service officer. And then 56 is a transfer request filed by Councilor Devine of $9,981.52 as follows. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I take that back. 56 is filed by Councilor Devine, and it's a transfer request, but that's for $11,342. From Planner 1 to Assistant Planner, Assistant Director of Economic Development, Senior Project Manager. Okay. Counselor, the motion was to take the items off the table.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Motion to pass the second reading?
Motion to pass the second reading under discussion.
Did someone second it?
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
I'm sorry, I thought you did second it. Under discussion, Councilor Jordan.
Yeah, just briefly, this is relative to that collective bargaining agreement we talked about. I won't go on and on about why I'm voting no, recommending a no vote. These are at least intra-departmental transfers, so we don't have an interdepartmental transfer issue like we did with item 2 from the last meeting, which, by the way, I did want to just tell everybody, I did follow up with the DOR and the DOR legal counsel, Mr. Ken Woodward, told me that based on our discussion, it was his opinion, and you can see the email chain that came from that it was, in his opinion, to me, a interdepartmental transfer coming from the mayor's department to the 6 other departments. I think we're going to have all those conversations go to charter and rules. The only thing I will say, just for the record, is that, again, we've never taken a vote on first reading, so I just want to state that for the minutes. No meeting have we had a vote on first reading yet on this, so now we're making a motion to go to second reading. So I did want to just point that out. Again, it'll come back to the discussion we had at the last meeting, which is, some were suggesting we don't need a vote on first reading. I won't go through that again, since that was the source of last meeting's discussion, and we're going to talk about that in charter and rules, but until we get all on the same page on that, I did want to just mention that point. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Devine?
Yeah, this is the collective bargaining agreement for all these positions. We've been over this several times, and that's why I think we should pass it tonight so that these people can get their raises that are due to them, and that we do what we should be doing with this.
Thank you.
So that's my
Thank you.
vote, is to vote in favor of all of those.
Got it, thank you. Anyone else? Oh, Councilor Bacon?
I was just going to offer a motion to pass the first reading so that we'd be going with our charter.
Thank you. We actually have a motion on the floor right now. Thank you. Is there any other discussion?
An amendment.
Is there a second?
That's okay.
Okay. We can discuss in charter and rules. I look forward to it.
Okay.
Anyone else? Okay, so on the motion to pass the second reading, the clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting to approve items 2, 3, 4, and 56.
Bartley?
No.
Devine?
Yes.
Givner?
Yes.
Graney?
No.
Jordan?
No.
McGrath Smith?
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti?
Yes.
Ocasio?
No.
Israel Rivera?
Yes.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Bacon?
No.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
8 yeas, 5 nays.
Sorry, I was fixing my papers with that. You've passed those items. Let me just,
Motion to take up item 5.
5, second.
motion's been made and seconded. Sorry, I feel like this microphone's gonna fall off, but that's all I need.
And to take 5 off the table.
Okay. Motion's made and seconded to take item 5 off the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 5 is from Assistant City Solicitor Jane Mantaleski, a letter regarding St. Vincent lots.
The motion is to receive and send to DGR, please.
Motion's been made and seconded to receive and send to DGR. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Item 6, is there a motion to take this off the table?
Can we have a motion to take item 6 and 7 up
8.
as a package and send them to?
Public service?
Some are
Service.
reappointments. Some are reappointments.
Those are, so 6 and 7 are appointments. So, but first, I would entertain a motion to take these
off the
items off the
table.
table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 6 is a letter appointing Patricia Normand of 36 Pleasant Street to the Conservation Commission. 7 is a letter appointing Dennis Wazuriaga of 6 Pinehurst Road to the Housing Authority. Motion's been made and seconded to send to Public Service. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Item...
Motion to take 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 off the table.
Motion's been made and seconded to take items 8 through 12 off the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Motion to suspend the rules to take final action.
Motion to suspend the rules to take final action on 8 to 12. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Well, let me read them. Sorry. Let me just read them. My bad. 8 is reappointing Lynn Horan of Southampton Road, Commission on Disabilities. 9 is appointing Jessica LeBron Martinez to serve on the Commission on Disabilities. 10 is appointing Jeffrey Horan to serve on the Conservation Commission. 11 is reappointing Rosemary Arnold of 30 Mountain Road on the Conservation Commission. And 12 is reappointing Sarah Wiedemann, Sarah, as a member of the Commission on Disabilities. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Can I make a motion to take item 13, 14? There's a bunch, sorry, hold on.
17.
13.
17?
Yep.
14.
No, 17. Oh, 17,
Okay.
yes, there's more.
So 13, 17?
13, 14, 17.
So 13, 14, 17,
Gotcha.
64, 65, 66,
Okay.
67.
Yep.
I guess we'll just start with those as a package and send them to, take them off the table and send them to Charter and Rules.
Okay.
Second.
There's a lot.
That's
Charter and
fine.
Rules. It's going to be great.
I'm into it. Motion's been made and seconded to take items 13, 14, 17, 64, 65, 66, and 67 off the table together as a package and refer to, Charter and Rules. And I'm just going to read them briefly. 13 is from the city solicitor, case of Fuller v. Haynes, which addresses the first reading of an order. 14 is from Solicitor Ball, opinion from KP Law. 17 is from DOR, guideline on appropriation transfers. 64 is from me. An email communication with Councilor Jordan. 65 is from Councilor Jordan to City Clerk Brenna Leary and our city auditor. 66 is an email communication from Councilor Jordan with city auditor. And 67 is City Councilor Linda Bacon, open meeting law complaint. Motion was made and seconded to send to Charter and Rules. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay.
Madam President?
Yes, Counselor Jordan.
Yeah, in the same, they weren't tabled, but in the same vein, items 98, 100, and 101, motion to,
98, sorry.
Rural charter rules.
oh, yeah.
You said 98, 100,
You said.
and 101.
95, 96 are
Okay.
the last charter rules ones.
Oh, okay, 95, 96 too? All
Yep.
right. 95, 96. I think we wanted to do the other one on,
101.
it was 87 actually too. Was it? No, it got moved back a number, 88. And I know a couple of these are Counselor Devines too, but I wanted to, on 88, 95, 96, 98,
So, Kevin, could you slow?
I'm sorry, 88,
Yeah,
Yep.
95,
yeah,
96,
yeah,
98,
yeah,
100,
yeah.
and 101, all to charter and rules.
Okay.
Which ones are,
So the motion was made and seconded to suspend the rules to take items 88, 95, 96, 98, 100, and 101 to charter and rules. Let me just, please hold. Okay. 88 is filed by Counselor Devine, ordered that the law department issue an opinion as to whether there are any repercussions for an elected city councilor who may, quote, use their position to impede any government operation in carrying out their duties. 89, nope.
No.
95, sorry.
5, yep.
Got it. 95, filed by Counselor Devine, ordered that the law department render an opinion as to whether a city councilor can be censured for disruption of any city council proceeding, whether at regular meetings or at subcommittee. And then 96, filed by Counselor Devine, that the law department check with the surrounding cities and towns as to how they might censure an elected official due to lack of decorum. 100.
No, 98.
98?
Oh, sorry. 98. Oh, yeah, I did. 98 is filed by Counselor Jordan, Counselor Bacon, ordered that the City Council Charter and Rules Committee discuss the council's long history of interpretation relative to Section 22 of the Charter, that a vote to pass the first and then a vote to pass the second reading are required before final passage may occur under the provisions of that section, that the council also continue to follow our current procedure if and until the council votes to change that procedure and understanding of Section 22 through a lawful method, to be determined in up to and including a possible charter change, Section 22 of the Charter. And then the Section 22 is outlined. And 100 is filed by Councilors Jordan and Bacon, ordered amend Rule 6E by adding the following, that no member of the City Council shall make references to or about another member, but in respectful terms, whether inside or outside the City Council chambers, including on social media, that the City Council also take into consideration this time how the city's social media policy should help guide our final rule. And lastly, item 101 is a late file filed by Councilor Jordan. Sorry, lots of reading. From Councilor Jordan, response to email communication from President Tessa Murphy-Ramboletti. All of these, the motion was made and seconded to suspend the rules, take as a package, and refer to Charter and Rules. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. And you're probably gonna have to remind me later that we already referred those. My notes are looking crazy. All right. Okay.
We're now back to.
Go back to
15, I think.
Motion to take item 15 off the table and send to DGR.
motion has been made and seconded to take item 15 off the table and refer to DGR. Item 15 is from City Solicitor Jane Mantaleski, Assistant City Solicitor Jane Mantaleski, notice of sale 285 Main Street. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Motion to take item 16 off the table and receive as a communication.
Motion
The raises, thank you.
has been made, and I'm sure there's a second that I heard.
Second.
To take item 16 off the table and refer and just receive it. This is from Counselor Givner. It's a Boston Globe article on impact fees. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Could I have a copy, please?
You do. You should. It's in the package.
Okay, I'll find it.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you, Jeffrey, for all the things. Okay, item 17.
We did
We
that.
did, that's all set.
Thanks,
18
guys. I knew
off
I was
the
going to.
table.
So motion to take item 18 off the table and receive.
Motion's been made and seconded to take item 18 off the table and receive. That is from Frank DeMarinis. I'm sorry, Frank. Schermerhorn site plan review.
That was done. That was done.
Oh, that was the one we took out of order, and we did get something done at the last meeting, guys.
Yes.
So,
Okay, never mind. Item 19.
You received?
Yeah. It was.
Second.
It wasn't received.
What was that?
Right.
Oh, we didn't receive the site plan review. Okay. Thank you, Madam Clerk. So instead, we're going to do 18 to receive. All those in favor?
aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And then 19, there was a motion to take
To
19 off the table and receive. 19 is the Cultural Humility Workshop curriculum from our personnel director. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item 20 is from the city clerk and administrative assistant. It's the minutes from the February 4th, 2025 meeting.
Motion to be received?
Motion to
And adopt?
receive and adopt.
Second.
All those, and is there any corrections or edits? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right. Item 21 is from the Committee on Public Service, to whom was referred an order appointing Beverlyn Blanchard of 46 St. Colby Drive to serve as a member of the Library Board of Directors. Ms. Blanchard will serve a 3-year term expiring February 2028. Recommended that the appointment be confirmed. Can I have a motion to take off the table?
Motion to take
Motion
item
to take
21
off
off
the
the
table.
table.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And Counselor Anderson Burgos, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President. So I'll be very brief. So looked over her resume. It was very, very impressive. She has held many volunteer positions over the years, and is an active member of the library. So it was approved from the committee 3-0. And if any member of the committee would like to speak on it,
Anyone else?
no.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Counselor Graney.
good choice.
Nice. Right to the point.
So we can vote.
All right.
Motion to approve the appointment.
Motion has been made and seconded to
Second.
approve the appointment. The clerk will call the roll. Right? Don't we do? No, just kidding. Why did I think that? I don't know. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay. With that, you've approved it. Thank you very much.
Motion to take item 22 off the table.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded to take item 22 off the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This is okay. Item 22 is the committee to whom was referred an order from the mayor, a letter appointing Beverlyn Blanchard, 46 St. Colby Drive, to serve on the library board of directors. But this said her term expired in February of 2025. So that's why it says recommended that the order be given leave to withdraw. Is that correct? Did I? Is there anyone else? Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, thank you.
Motion to take item 23 off the table.
Motion's been made and seconded to take item 23 off the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Item 23 is public service, appointing Mr. Thomas Gilchrist of 26 Dunn Ave, sorry, Thomas, to serve on the library board of directors. His term will expire in February of 2026. Recommended that the appointment be confirmed. Counselor Anderson Burgos?
Yeah, so he was Mr. Gilchrist was very, very, very impressive. He lives, breathes library. Like, if you look at his resume, everything was library, and across the state. So I was very impressed with this gentleman. He was voted 3-0, and I guess the motion would be to approve the appointment.
Second.
If anybody,
Second.
and I would allow any other of the
Yeah,
members.
of course, we'll do under discussion.
Yeah.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the appointment. Under discussion, is there anything anyone wants to
Madam
add?
Chair?
Yes, Counselor Greeny?
Good choice.
Great. Counselor McGrath-Smith, did I see your hand, or is that just, no, sorry.
Just flailing.
Okay, just flailing, got it. All right, seeing no other discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, with that, you've approved the appointment. And 24,
Motion to take item 24 off the table.
motion to take out 24 off the table, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 24 is the Committee on Public Service, an order from Mayor Garcia appointing Mr. Joseph Black of 1015 Maple Street to serve as a member of the Recycling Advisory Committee. His term is a 3-year term expiring August 2027. Recommended that the appointment be confirmed. Counselor Anderson Burgos?
Yes, Mr. Black was also very, very impressive. He stomps the ground at HCC like I did. He was very interesting. And the only thing I did notice that is Mr. Black lives in Palmer. I did speak with two of our colleagues here who didn't seem that there would be an issue with any ordinance, being that it's just an advisory committee. If maybe asked to the law department, or if it's not a.
Does anyone want to ask the law
Yeah,
department?
if
I'm pretty sure.
Anybody has concerns, we can do that, of course. But I would, it
Committee.
came out of the committee 3-0. And so my motion would be to approve the appointment, but if anyone has any questions, of course.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the appointment. Under discussion, Counselor McGrath-Smith?
Just through the president to the chair, I know the ordinance names specific roles for members of the Recycling Advisory Committee, and I was wondering if it was under a specific role, because some of them are, community housing, owner of a business, a resident.
Right.
Do you know which category he falls under?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I can ask for Recycling Committee.
Yeah.
I was going to see if it had it on the.
Either way, the Recycling Advisory Committee will be happy to have him.
It doesn't say, but you're here tonight, aren't you? Yes. Do you know?
I'm not exactly sure.
That's okay.
That required 6 residents, and anything after that.
Okay. No problem. Okay. Counselor McGrath-Smith, we can get you that information, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
On the motion?
On the motion, I'm not seeing any other discussion. All those in
Madam Chair?
favor? Yes, sorry, Counselor Gurney.
Good selection.
Great. Keeping us on our toes. Thank you.
Thank you, Howie.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. That you've passed it. Thank you very much. Item 25 is still on the table. If anyone wants to.
Motion to take up item number 25.
Off the table. Motion has been made and seconded to take item 25 off the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 25 is the Committee on Public Service, an order from Mayor Garcia, a letter appointing Tiffany Espinosa of 30 Amherst Street to serve as a member of the Redevelopment Authority. She will replace Jorge Colon and serve the remainder of his term, expiring November 1st, 2029. Recommended that the appointment be confirmed. Counselor Anderson Burgos.
Yeah, so I'm going to start with I should be ashamed. I kept chopping up her last name. For credit, I can roll my R's all day, but I could not say her last name, and it's Tiffany Espinosa. There, I said it. Yay! She was great. I really loved reading her resume. I'm telling you right now, we're as a city, we're lucky to get these volunteers. Like, we are so lucky, and she is so well equipped. And so I wrote very, very, very impressive resume. Sees the opportunity to support the middle part of the income of the city, housing opportunity for lower income and affluent. She's the perfect candidate, and I would recommend, or it was recommended 3-0 out of a committee, and I would motion to approve this candidate. Of course, if anyone wants to lie in.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the appointment of Tiffany Espinosa. Is there any other discussion?
Wait for Howie.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Councilor Greaney.
Yes, excellent choice, and thanks to all these people who are willing to serve the city.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
agree. Here.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone. So on the motion to approve the appointment, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, with that, you've approved them. And thank you, everyone who has stepped up to volunteer on a committee. Appreciate it. Who knows what it may lead to?
Motion to take items 26 through 29 off the table.
Motion has been made and seconded to take items 26 through 29 off the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
I will read. Do you want to take them as a package together, or just that was just for? Okay. So item 26 is the Committee of Development and Government Relations, to whom was referred an order that the committee invite Andrew Morehouse, Executive Director of Western Mass Food Bank, to a future committee meeting. Recommended that the order has been complied with. Counselor Givner.
Thank you, Madam President. So this discussion took place in DGR on February 10th, and it was Councilor Bartley's wonderful idea to bring in Mr. Andrew Morehouse, who's, if you've seen this pamphlet on your desk, it was from Mr. Morehouse. He's the executive director of the Western Mass Food Bank, and he came in and talked to us about the location of the food bank, how long it's been in operation, and really broke down where their funds come from, how they serve mostly children and the elderly in Massachusetts, and how there's different spikes in need, which tend to be during recessions, including during COVID, that they give out about 130,000 meals during COVID, and generally, monthly during COVID, and the average is 80 to 90,000 monthly meals that they give out regularly. So they do a lot of work. I mean, I know Councilor Ocasio volunteers in Holyoke quite a bit, and has seen this in action. I've done the same a couple times, but to really hear from Mr. Morehouse exactly how this all functions was really insightful. I would recommend anybody interested in this to review that February 10th meeting, because he really does the work. He does a lot of work, feeds a lot of people, and without this organization, I don't think the food would come from somewhere else. So it was a really nice conversation.
Thank you. Councilor Bartley.
I'm going to follow up on that. It was a great meeting. I thank the chair for running a really terrific meeting. And Andrew's been an associate of mine for many years. I volunteered myself over at the, when he was in Hatfield. I haven't even been in the new facility on Carew Street in Chicopee, but it's beautiful. And this is just a plea to the public and anyone listening. They certainly thrive because they get volunteers. It's a wonderful place to volunteer, 3-4 hours. If you can pull it off, is very rewarding. The number of partners that the food bank has in Holyoke, I believe he quantified that at 15. So there's certainly, in 2 weeks, we'll have, the music here and all the rest of that stuff, and we'll give some awards out to the parade. But the Hibernians, they volunteer monthly at Margaret's Pantry and Kate's Kitchen and the Broderick House, and they're not taking bows, but they're going to be here, get a couple awards next week, and well-deserved, and Councilor Devine put together some beautiful proclamations for them, and well-earned. But this is a service organization, and so, but you don't have to be a service organization. You can help out on your own, and Andrew is just one of those down-to-earth guys. He knows Holyoke very, very well, as he worked here for a good solid decade in other positions. So he sure would appreciate the help. And if you can't help him and you don't know how to reach out to him, Jeff certainly knows how to do that. And Jeff's going to put something on the website at some point relative to the food bank. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. On the motion that the order was complied with,
Second?
all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okey-doke, thank you. We have item,
27.
27. The Committee on Development Government Relations was referred a special permit application of Salmar Realty for a special permit for a proposed coffee shop drive-through restaurant at South Street Plaza. Recommended that the special permit be granted with the 32 conditions described in the Planning Board Site Plan Review Notice of Decision Letter dated January 16th, 2025. Councilor Gibner.
Thank you, Madam President. This has been in DGR for a very, very, very long time. I don't have a whole lot more to say about it. This is going to be for a Dunkin' Donuts in the South Street Plaza. It was tabled numerous times in committee for changes made by the project, and then waiting on recommendations from the planning board. So we did come to the approval with the 32 conditions that are lengthy. I'm not going to read them all here, but they are attached to one or all of the many tabled incidences where we went over this. So, but it was unanimously recommended for approval with the 32 conditions.
Councilor Bartley.
Yeah, thank you. This, again, was well shepherded by the committee. I think this goes back to when Tessa was the chair of the committee.
Yes.
It certainly is a ordeal. I'm frankly disappointed in some of the things that were just the lack of communication. I know they got back, but the lack of follow-up, and to have this go through, this shows, I hate that phrase, business friendly. I despise it. I rarely use it, but if we're going to ever use it, would be the time. I'm going to make a motion right now that we amend the special permit to add the following condition to the permit, because I don't know if it's specified in the planning board. In fact, they wouldn't specify it. That we say that we're only approving the drive-through. That's all we do with this particular permit. So my amendment is going to be the drive-through shall be open allowed to be open 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Second.
Under discussion.
Let me repeat it, make sure I got that right. So the motion was made and seconded to amend the approval of the special permit conditional on, with the condition that it operates 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Under discussion, Councilor Bartley.
This is very standard. Normal in a normal world, the petitioner would have come and spoken with the committee to say these are the hours we would like to have the drive-through open. Just it's been my experience that the hours that we presented and we're going to vote on will generally be the hours. Now, if somebody wants to balk at that, that's fine. But just realize the petitioner always has the right to come back and amend the permit. So I think it's prudent of us to sort of at least get something in there now and we can move on with it. Whether we get any feedback from the petitioner, if history is any precedent, we won't, but we'll see what they come up with. But it looks like the project's going to go forward, so that's the good news. It's the good news for the South Street Shopping Plaza and the owners and the neighborhood, and I think it'll be a winner overall. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Devine.
Yeah, just a quick question. Obviously, I'm going to vote for this, but that amendment, it does say special permit be granted with 32 conditions. I want to make sure, not that you need to read 32 conditions right now, but if it's different than the one Counselor Bartley suggested, that it be better or less than what you're suggesting? Again, that's just a question I'm having, since it's got 32 conditions, and that may be one of them.
Counselor Bartley, would you like to respond?
May I?
Yes.
Yeah, just through the chair to
Yeah.
the chair. Yeah, it's a semi-tricky question, but because I don't have the 32 in front of us, but I would say that if we do vote, and I'll amend my motion to say that the motion that we passed on the floor tonight would supersede any prior condition. So it would be 6. So that's my motion. That the motion we say tonight relative to the hours of operation, 7 days, 6 a.m. to, what did I say?
So 10.
Okay, all right, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Would supersede any other prior agreement.
Second.
Sorry, I was just looking through the 32.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so the motion was made and seconded to amend the special permit to ensure that the condition is added that the hours of operation be 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Unless, and have that supersede if there's a different condition listed. That one will take precedent. Any other discussion? Counselor Rivera.
Are there 32 conditions in the packet? No, right?
I have them up here. You definitely have had access to them.
Okay.
I don't think you have them in front of you right now unless you ask Jeffrey for it, but they would be in your shared drive. And they were,
Madam Chair?
Yeah, they're definitely on the website. I just pulled them up from the website.
and they were part of the discussion
Okay.
in,
Thank you.
get Counselor Greeny?
Yes, please. On the amendment, please.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. The clerk will call the roll. This is a special permit, so we're going to do a roll call vote. If you vote yes,
Question.
yes.
We need to vote on the amendment first.
Oh, good. Counselor Bartley?
The motion can be to approve, we just do one vote.
Yeah.
The approves the special permit as amended. That's the motion.
Okay.
One shot does it all.
Second.
Counselor Jordan?
Respectfully, I disagree. I would say that you have to actually approve the amendment, vote on the amendment first, and then we're approving
We'll just
it
do
on-
that. That sounds good. So we're going to vote on the amendment first.
Then
Proposed amendment.
overall as amendment.
Yes, Counselor
Madam Chair,
Greeny.
that was my motion. On the amendment, please.
Got it. On the amendment, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
On the motion.
And then on the motion to approve the special permit with the amended conditions, the clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting to approve.
Bartley?
Yes.
Divine?
Yes.
Givner?
Yes.
Greeny?
Yes,
Jordan?
Yes.
McGrath Smith?
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti?
Yes.
Ocasio? Yes. Israel Rivera?
No.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Bacon?
Yes.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
12 yeas, 1 nay.
Okay, with that, you have passed it. Hold on.
Motion to take up item 28.
Motion, okay, 28 is the Committee on Development, Government Relations, to whom was referred an order The Law Department Building Commissioner, city's property group provide its annual update on the city's receivership program. Recommended that the order has been complied with. Counselor Givner.
Thank you, Madam President. So we had in Frank Demirnes from the Schermerhorns project. They gave a nice explanation of what's going on over there. Am I reading the wrong one?
You're reading the wrong word. We are all set with that one. We are on the city's receivership program.
Oh, yeah, we passed that.
Yeah.
Great.
Classic. Counselor Givner, go ahead.
I'm reading two things. Sorry. Okay. So it looks like we took up items 6 and 7 for this together and talked about them. There was a pretty lengthy discussion on how the receivership is handled. It was explained that we received outside counsel on this. So Attorney Mandaleski gave a lengthy explanation about how receivership works because I had asked, how things happen. So she was explaining how these kind of things start with a Board of Health complaint, then an inspection is needed, that there's violations that have a time notice, that there's usually 30 days to address a Board of Health complaint depending on the severity of the complaint. And then a court order would have to comply with state sanitary codes if the space was occupied. So receiver would be appointed if the owner was deceased on a property like this, and the receiver would get a rehabilitation plan for the space. And then there would be, the next step would be there could be a lien on the property, and if the property was sold, the receiver could get paid. So there were specific questions about some of the properties in Holyoke that are problem properties. It was asked if we have a list of problem properties that could be shared with the public. So there is definitely a sort of running list, but whether or not that can be shared with the public wasn't clear yet. So that's for me to continue to follow up and see if that's something can be shared, because the concern was raised that, all of us are seeing these things, but the Board of Health continues to get code violation complaints, and it doesn't seem clear that things are being worked on by the public. So we recommended that the problem property group working on these buildings work out on how to share this with the public. They meet with John Dijek. It's my understanding that this is not a public meeting, so we really have to wait and see how they can share this information. And an interesting question that came up is, how legal is it to put owner signage to show which banks or individuals own the properties? So we all thought that was, a nice way to shame problem property owners into taking action. Whether or not we can do that is unclear, but this is another discussion that they can have in the problem property group meetings and share back with the council. So we had I thought the discussion was useful. I think it's worth rewatching if you're interested in problem properties in Holyoke. And overall we said that this order had been complied with.
Thank you, Counselor Givner.
Sorry for stumbling.
Counselor Jordan?
Yeah, I thought the chairman did a really nice job, and compliments to Attorney Mandaleski on this one. She definitely inspired confidence that the city is doing a lot, looked very organized, and is making receivership something of a strong priority. I was very impressed, which is encouraging because, we started this, say, about 10, 12 years ago with receivership program in the city of Holyoke. Some cities are doing it really well, and it looks like we're really doing our part. A lot of residents have a lot of concerns about dilapidated properties and how do they turn those around, because as we all can appreciate, those can be neighborhood killers. There's nothing more self-defeating to a neighborhood when you see, beautiful home, beautiful home, beautiful home that everybody's keeping up, and then it's just like this eyesore that nobody cares about because, God forbid, you try to sell your house or, welcoming new families. They're like, I don't want to live on this street. Look at that. It's, a haunted house. So the city is taking these process very seriously. I was very impressed, and we did go over a number of properties, and I was encouraged. Some of the ones that I had in particular mentioned were on the list. So citizens should feel encouraged to check into this, report ones that you think are a problem. There's probably a story behind that property. It's either being worked on, is in court, or is at some stage in the process. And if it's not, raise it to a city councilor, raise it to the mayor's office or the building department and otherwise. But these are being addressed, and this is an important piece of Holyoke's turnaround.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Bartley?
Yeah, I think the chair summarized it very well. It's a convoluted process, and nothing to worry about the way you presented that report. I would just say that the receivership is an incredibly harsh thing for a homeowner, for a municipality. It's a necessary tool that we copied the program. Kara Cunha deserves a lot of credit. There's Attorney Wilson, Attorney Corshane, Attorney McGee. They did a lot of work on this. Danny Bresnahan, a lot of work on it over the course of time years ago, and so it's unfortunately in this day and age it's necessary because there's so many buyer fixer flippers that come in, and they don't get to the point where they fix it, and then the thing dilapidates and it becomes an eyesore. I would strongly oppose any kind of signage on a house that says anything to embarrassing somebody. I don't think that adds to the solution. I would strongly propose that this problem property group make its meetings known to the public, and I would even more strongly support them putting up on a regular basis, posting it with a separate page on the city website. If I have to file an order, I guess I will. That at least under the OPED page, these are the properties we're looking at. All of this, Madam Chair, is public information. None of it is private. They're all court-filed orders, but you got to be a real nerd to go down there and look it up. But it's all public information. And sometimes it's a big mega guy, but quite often in court last week with the city of Holyoke in there, this is a property that just happens to be in Ward 3. I'm not going to say the street, but it's a legendary part of Ward 3. And the owners were in there crying like you've never seen in your life. And they just they just were so ashamed to be in court. And it was a hard thing to watch. So, I can't run up to them because I'm conflicted out, but it's a very difficult situation, and it's nothing to be necessarily proud of. It's just a necessary evil that we have to go through. So this affects not only the big guys and the flippers, but it also affects the little people that grew up in a house and somebody may have passed away and the thing wasn't probated right. It gets super complicated. So, just we keep that in mind, and then now we want to put signs up to say, hey, look here, like a scarlet letter. I would hope that would never come to pass. And I hope more to the point that this problem property group makes itself known to the extent that it can. So when neighbors do have questions, they don't have to call a counselor, they don't have to call the mayor. They can go on the website and go figure it out in 10 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, so the motion was that the order has been complied with. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Item
30, I think.
29.
29.
But I think this is what Councilor Givner meant when you took 6 and 7 as a package. So this is very similar, I think. But I'll read 29. I'll abbreviated, if that's okay with everyone. The Committee on Development and Government Relations was referred in order that the Law Department and Mayor be invited to the City Council to discuss an update on the receivership program. And this was also recommended that the order has been complied with. Is there anything else you would like to add, Councilor Givner?
Nope.
Or others? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Okay, motion to take item 30 off the table.
Second?
Motion to take item 30 off the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item 30 is the Committee on Finance, to whom was referred in order that the City Council accept the provisions of the fiscal year 25 firefighter safety equipment grant program, $24,081, no match. Recommended that the order be adopted. Councilor Devine.
This motion to go to the second reading, is that correct? Ask for second
Motion
reading.
has been made and seconded to pass the second reading. Councilor Devine, under discussion.
Yeah, this was a grant that was given to the fire department. It's the last year of the grant, and with that grant, they're going to be buying 3 thermal imaging cameras and 8 gas meters. And one I found particularly interesting was they're gonna, for anybody who has an electric vehicle, they're gonna buy 3 electric vehicles disconnect plugs. So they would attach that to the vehicle and it would think it was running. The vehicle would think it's running. So it's a good grant, no match, and it's the last grant of the year.
Okay. Is there other comments, discussions? Okay, so the motion was to pass the second reading. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting in favor of accepting the grant. Go ahead.
Bartley?
Yes.
Devine?
Yes.
Givner?
Yes.
Rainey?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
McGrath Smith?
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti?
Yes.
Ocasio?
Yes.
Israel Rivera?
Yes.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Bacon?
Yes.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Thank you. You've passed item 31. The Committee on Finance, to whom was referred in order that there be a transfer of $100,000 from patrolman to dispatch, $100,000 to map data maintenance.
Motion to pass the second reading?
Yep, recommended that the order be adopted. The motion was made to pass the second reading. Councilor Devine, under discussion.
The chief was in, and we had a nice discussion. This is just for the rest of the year for Shot Spotter, and he was very pleased that there were at least 10 people that signed up to be a police officer. Right now, 87 employees on the books, and there's 1 on active duty, and 10 more have signed up, so he was very pleased.
Okay. Other discussion on the matter? Councilor Jordan?
I would only, obviously, I'm a yes in favor of ShotSpotter, as I was previously. I would say I think we're due for another statistical update on ShotSpotter, though. At some point, we should encourage the chief to give us an annual report on how many shootings, and that I don't think quite came out yet. So we would be, I know he's new, but I would like to see personally another, annual refresh of all the data on ShotSpotter, if that's possible to get.
Perhaps
Nice.
we could file an order?
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Yeah, we'll
Why don't
do
you go ahead and do that and put my name on it?
Okay. Oh, for the next meeting, I'll do it.
Okay.
And I'll mention it to Brian, too.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Councilor Israel Rivera, and then Councilor Givner.
Just for clarification, unfortunately, I didn't get to make it. Well, I watched the video, but I didn't get to make it to the meeting, so I didn't get to ask questions. I think for me, so the grant that we got that originally started ShotSpotter has ended. Then that's my understanding. Then if we're transferring money now to now fund ShotSpotter, because in the beginning when we got it, everyone okayed it because we weren't actually paying for it. but now it looks like it will be in the budget coming for the next season. This is a different conversation that kind of needs to be had. I guess you guys had it in finance, maybe? Not sure. But to me, that's the only thing with regards to the shot spotter piece. So for me, I'll vote no on that transfer.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Gibner.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to mention that the new crime analyst is actually using data from ShotSpotter and creating a lot of reports. So I think this is an example of why the crime analyst is so important. She's actually the one, having ShotSpotter is great, but if no one's there to crunch the data and put reports together, it makes it kind of useless. So any abilities it has or any information that can be tracked with ShotSpotter or any other technology that the police department uses is analyzed by the crime analyst and put into reports. So any money saving statistics, any reports on how much, what's deterred, what's not deterred, what's figured out is all done by the crime analyst. So I think it's really important that while we think about, transferring funds to fund this expensive technology for the city, we also think about who's supposed to be crunching that data. And without the crime analyst crunching the data, we just have a bunch of data coming in that no one's really able to digest or break down to communicate to the city council, to the mayor, to the chief of police even. So I just wanted to put that out there and just reiterate how important the crime analyst position is and why it's needed. Thanks.
Thank you, Counselor Jordan, and then Counselor Rivera.
I think to answer Counselor Rivera's good question, which is why these funds, if memory serves, I believe the answer was we got a grant for the first 2 years of ShotSpotter, and now we have to pay for it. We got the grant from the U.S. Attorney's Office to pay the first 2 years. Now it's in our budget, and this is the funds to do it.
Thank you, Counselor Rivera.
So, and I understand that, and I appreciate the crime analyst piece, because I think whether we have ShotSpotter or not, I believe the crime analyst position is imperative to enhancing our public safety opportunities out here in the community, especially in Holyoke, with considering a lot of the concerns that people in the communities have around the public safety. The concern I have is consistency around how we fund certain things and where we fight certain battles as a council, right? On the one hand, we're struggling to pass certain items with regards to certain raises for particular individuals that work within our department. But when it comes to police, it just baffles me where certain things just get snuck right in, and we didn't have a meeting to come back and say, we're going to re-up this grant or fund what was funded by the grant now by our city budget, because that means that our police budget is going to be increased next time. That's what it means automatically from now, knowing that for the next fiscal year, it's not only going to be increased, hopefully for the crime analyst, because we're going to hopefully vote that in, but it would also be increased for whatever cost that we have to cover with regards to what we didn't cover the last 2 years. So if we're complaining about raising costs and raising money on the taxpayer, here nobody batted an eye, and I just feel like I had to point that out.
Thank you, Counselor. Anyone else?
Motion that the order be adopted?
So the motion was to pass the second reading, and the clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting for item 31.
Bartley?
Yes.
Devine?
Yes.
Gibner?
Yes.
Greenie?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
McGrath Smith?
Yes.
Murphy Rumblety?
Yes.
Ocasio? Yes. Israel Rivera?
No.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Bacon?
Yes.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
12 yeas, 1 nay.
Okay, with that, you've passed it. Item 32. Item 32, the Committee on Finance, to whom was referred an order for a transfer of $80,000 from sergeants and patrolmen to map data maintenance. Recommended that the order be adopted. Counselor Devine.
Motion to pass the second reading?
Motion has been made and seconded to pass the second reading. Under discussion, Counselor Devine.
Yes, that was the same night the chief was in as well. And this is for electronic and computer subscriptions and also to fill other vacancies. Like I said, there was 87 and 10 have signed up for new patrolmen. So that's why the order, the transfer, excuse me.
Any other discussion, questions? Okay, the motion was to pass the second reading. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting in favor of the transfer, item 32.
Anderson Burgos. I'm sorry, Bartley.
Yes.
Devine.
Yes.
Givner.
She stepped out.
Graney.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
McGrath Smith.
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti.
Yes.
Ocasio. Israel Rivera.
No.
Jenny Rivera.
Yes.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Bacon.
Yes.
Anderson Burgos.
Yes.
11 yeas, 1 nay.
Okay, with that, you've passed it. Item 33 is the Committee on Finance, to whom was referred a transfer of $83,656 as follows. Part-time assistant solicitor to associate solicitor. Recommended that the order be adopted. Counselor Devine.
Yeah, motion to pass the second reading?
Motion has been made, and is there a second?
Second?
To pass the second reading, Counselor Devine, under discussion.
Yeah, this was, and I'm not sure if we were going to take a motion to let Counselor Bissonnette speak if people want him to, but this change was corrected from an order from Counselors Jordan and Bacon. And 2 years ago, this was split from one full-time into two part-time positions having different duties, and it's the equivalent of one full-time position. And I've got 5-0 vote on that.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion or questions? Counselor Jordan?
Well, just pointing out, we have an ordinance that establishes how many assistant solicitors there are and how many associate solicitors are. So the law department brought the allocations into alignment, so we appreciate that.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, on the motion to pass the second reading, the clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting in favor of 33.
Bartley.
Yes.
Devine.
Yes.
Givner.
Yes.
Graney.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
McGrath Smith.
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti.
Yes.
Ocasio.
Yes.
Israel Rivera.
Yes.
Jenny Rivera.
Yes.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Bacon.
Yes.
Anderson Burgos.
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Thank you. Okay, item 34 is the Committee on Committee on City Council and School Committee, to whom was referred an order that the school department, school committee, receiver, mayor present a plan for the future of Metcalf School. I'll be abridged, if that's okay with everyone.
Yes.
Recommended that the order has been complied with. Counselor Jordan.
Yeah, motion that the committee report be received and adopted.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to receive and adopt the committee report. Under discussion.
Yeah, we had a very thoughtful discussion. This would have been approximately a month ago. We had the committee meeting regarding the future of Metcalf. There was a discussion about where we're going with Metcalf. There's a lot of different possibilities with it. Let me just go back in here into my notes. Currently, there's a discussion about moving the Opportunity Academy over to Metcalf. This is really kind of a really cool program. It's an alternative program that serves about 150 students. They're currently paying about $50,000 a year rent currently to Hoyle Community College for space that they're currently using. These are students who have either had struggles, either personally or otherwise, which has caused them to not be able to complete their education in a timely manner. And these folks are either working or going through whatever that they're doing and being able to continuing and ultimately complete their studies, which is excellent. And they're getting diplomas. And so this is something that the city certainly wants to encourage. There's going to be a lot of discussion as to different options that we have for a lot of the different public buildings. And we did have, I believe, let's see here. Yeah, on item 37, we're going to talk about some of the other buildings as well. But there was a really a good report that was published on February 5th, 2025, relative to Metcalf School. And a very good committee came together to really study this, and I would encourage members, if you have a chance, to read the Future Use of Metcalf Working Group report. It's actually quite comprehensive and went through a whole number of different evaluation points as to why they're recommending what they're recommending. And I mentioned the Opportunity Academy to go there. Also, there's a discussion about potentially establishing an alternate middle school program at Metcalf as well. There's also a discussion about a relocation of central office space, potentially to the Dean campus. There is a schematic design that's being developed for that for October 1st, 2025. Also, in conjunction with a possible relocation of the central office, exploring space at City Hall and or the Annex to relocate the enrollment center. And currently they're proposing to make no changes in the location of the transitions program for the 25-26 school year. Provided that they said the current landlord refuses to renew their current lease. So there was a lot of really good information gathered here, and I thought Mr. Soto did a particularly comprehensive job to evaluate the question. So it was a very good discussion, and I don't know if there's any questions from it, but I do appreciate everybody that participated. And just overall, I'd like to say I thank Mr. Soto and the school department officials for taking our committee so seriously, and the school committee members for having such buy-in to the committee. And we have some really excellent meetings, and it's very much appreciated.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Bartley?
Yeah, this is an order I filed, so I really appreciate the chairman taking it up and summarizing it. I don't really have much to add other than the city council president appointed me to serve. I was happy to do it. We had 3 or 4 or 5 meetings. I don't remember it, but it was well organized. The 2 Seans really carried the ball, and Rosalie, Rory, and myself, we kind of pitched in where we had to. There were educators that really came prepared to the meetings. And so the bottom line for this building is that it appears to me, we recommended that it remain a school. And that's really what I wanted to see, that it stay a school. The building next to it is no longer a school, it's now a church, where the old Blessed Sacrament, but that really fits in line with the history, because that was a church. That was a Catholic church. And now it's a Pentecostal church with a wonderful congregation. I've had the opportunity to meet with several and speak before them. So we're talking right back to our roots in Elmwood, and and by the way, I think both of the buildings are going to work hand in glove. Both of the owners are going to work hand in glove about parking and about other improvements. So to me, this is going to be a winner. Are both off the tax rolls? Yes, they are. Were both ever on the tax rolls? No, they weren't. So to me, they're going to preserve two wonderful, iconic structures in Elmwood. That's what we wanted. We did get involved with a caveat that there's going to be at least one community meeting in the neighborhood. I remember I tried to do that at Peck. That didn't work out so well, did it, Kev? Wow, man! But it's going to work out for this time. So the neighbors are going to have a chance to meet with the leaders of the schools, the two Seans, whomever else is on the committee really needs to tip my hat to all of them. I don't think I need to name them; they're all in the report. And hopefully this report will be again posted to the HPS website. I don't know if it is. If it isn't, it should be posted to our website so people have a chance to read it, digest it, and come to a community meeting prepared with questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor McGrath-Smith.
Thank you. I just wanted to exhort the joint committee and the school committee to keep their eye on the ball around this plan with Metcalf, because one of the things that we saw with the Lynch School building is the second you take a building off of the school rolls, nothing can be grandfathered in. And the capacity for that building to ever be used as a school again immediately plummets. So it's really important that people keep their eye on the balls, that that's not allowed to happen if there is a potential for wanting to see it be a school in some capacity moving forward. And that's true whether or not you want to lease it to a charter school or lease it to an alternative school. They would still need to fall underneath now the new code compliance. And so I just would hope that everyone will keep their eye on the ball around that so that you just keep your options open as you move forward with that building. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor.
Madam Chair.
Councilor Greeny.
Yeah, as a longtime proponent of the Lynch School being kept a school, I agree with Councilor McGrath. And, Metcalf is once again another iconic school building in Holyoke, and we all like to see that preserved. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Oh, sorry, Councilor Rivera.
I just wanted to point out and highlight moving Opportunity Academy to Metcalf School actually provides students that are not right now in a structured space that looks like a school the opportunity to actually be in that space, and they'll actually have a gym now for them to play basketball or do whatever it is, something that they're not experiencing at the Pignelli Center right now, which kind of, again, feels like a bus station versus an actual school. So I commend the school department and moving in that direction, and appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, everyone. So on the motion that this order has been complied with, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Item 35 is from the Joint Committee, Joint City Council and School Committee, an order for Mayor Garcia and Superintendent, is a communication, a joint statement affirming the rights of immigrants. Recommended that the order has been complied with. Councilor Jordan.
Yes, motion that the committee report be received and adopted.
Motion has been made and seconded that the committee report be received and adopted. Under discussion?
Okay, under discussion, we had a very thoughtful conversation about a couple recent declarations, both from the mayor and Superintendent Soto, in particular the one from Superintendent Soto, just asking a lot of good questions about, how many, is there a sense of scale of the number of families that would be considered, immigrant or refugee, quote unquote, families? And he did say the numbers have gone quite up. He said the prior year was about 7 to 10 families, now over 100 families, predominantly from Haiti and Afghanistan, where the newcomers were coming from. He mentioned that they don't really too much ask about where people are coming from, but they did give assurances that, mostly they are receiving a number of grants and things in support, that they didn't feel that it was a financial burden to to the district currently under current law, that the main thing that would be potentially a cost to the city is the transportation costs. But those were being covered by McKinney-Vento currently. That's under current federal legislation. We'll see where that all goes, as we all know. And, one of the questions that was presented by the committee was the question of Massachusetts has made it a point to be very, welcoming to people who are migrants into the country. But on the other question is, are they leaving local communities financially left holding the bag for decisions that are being made in Boston? And the view from the superintendent currently was that the answer was no at this point. But, they are certainly taking a wait-and-see approach to make sure that the dollars are following these commitments that are being made, because obviously Holyoke cannot afford to take these costs onto ourselves. So we'll continue to watch it, but overall there was the statement examined concerns from certain quarters about will people be coming into the facilities to talk to families and otherwise, and they just wanted to have some guidance for their folks. They're just doing a lot of legal review as to what are the do's and don'ts relative to, in the event various federal officials or ICE officials are making questions of people as to their status and what interactions there will be in the schools. None of these overtures have been made at this point yet, but they felt like they were relatively prepared to address those and make people feel comfortable at this point. And again, they stated that migrant status was not a quote-unquote barrier to enrollment, and they wanted to affirm that, and they articulated that that was their interpretation of current Massachusetts law on that. So overall, I thought the committee got the information that we needed. It's obviously, like you say, over 100 families. It's certainly material. But on the other hand, it appears that the school department is taking a thoughtful approach to making sure that, financially, the city of Holyoke is not, quote unquote, left holding the bag for decisions that are being made in Boston. So that was encouraging, and we'll see where obviously everybody's sort of waiting and seeing to see as these new policies in Washington are being developed on all these topics, and what is the future of federal aid and all of this. I think the school department is taking a wait and see approach, and will continue to examine that and their legal options and what legal guidance they get as those policies are developed. So we thank them for obviously being proactive on this in this regard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yep, Councilor Graney.
Yeah, one of the issues too that was discussed was the language situation. A lot of these immigrants who are coming in have different languages, and the school department is going to have to provide interpretation or consultation for the language barriers, which could be a cost of somewhat if we don't get the federal money to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. On the motion that the order has been complied with, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Item 36 is the Joint Committee of City Council and School Committee, to whom was referred an order that the superintendent discuss his recent memo on affirming the rights of immigrants, recommended that the order has been complied with. Councilor Jordan?
Yeah, this one I think is this a duplicate?
I think the first one was 35 was the actual communication.
Okay.
And then I think 36 was the order that you filed.
Oh, okay. So that's all set.
Which is, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone want to add anything else?
Mm-mm.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. 37 is also the Joint Committee of City Council and Schools. In order, it's a communication from Sean Mangiano. The School Committee Finance Subcommittee recommended that the order has been complied with. Councilor Jordan.
Yes, this was a report from Sean, which articulated, it was really a comprehensive matrix of the status of all of the different schools and the status of their facilities. There was also a before and after analysis comparing current to 2019. Now, the good news is that the facilities, as a general rule, are in much superior condition than they were 6 years ago. And when we look at some of the areas that are in need, there was a lot less that were under urgent condition. For example, those that would be marked by an urgent need for help would be at the Central Supply on Main Street. The roof and windows there are in need of attention. And those were the only two that were actually marked urgent. Actually, mea culpa, the generator at Lawrence School was also marked urgent. But that is far down from what those were before. As far as ones in poor condition, there were a few, like, for example, the roof at the high school, the doors at Dean. Metcalf had a couple relative to playgrounds and doors. McMahon School had playgrounds and roof. And Sullivan School boiler, they felt overall was in poor condition. So they're currently developing a 5-year capital plan to address all of these different needs. They also, if you recall from our recent special meeting, we just recently appropriated about $500,000 of various funds to get going on making a lot of improvements in a lot of these other areas. We also learned at that time too of the IVAC grant that was able to save the city approximately $150,000 that we had appropriated for a new boiler at McMahon School. So those funds were able to be saved through this IVAC grant, and now we're using those funds towards these other improvements to the capital plan. So the committee reviewed the overall approach to the facilities report, and we were very pleased that, one, they're taking a very comprehensive assessment and have a very effective capital plan to address all of these. Clearly, funds will be needed, as always, to do the necessary improvements, but we are encouraged by the fact that a lot of grant monies are available for this purpose, so that will be a savings to the city. And where grants aren't available, we also have the state is giving an 80% reimbursement for things that have to be, where we have to use actual hard tax dollars to do it, so that we're only left paying 20% of actual hard tax general fund dollars to it. So we get a nice leverage on a nice 4-to-1 ratio of our local funds to do these capital improvements. So we encourage the school to make these improvements to our Holyoke Public Schools, to keep them in tip-top condition, and there has been always a strong advocacy here at the Holyoke City Council, certainly, to provide our 20% match to those. And we try to leverage those to make sure, the schools are in great shape. And we will, I'm sure collectively, I think I could speak for everybody in the room, we will collectively continue to do that. We encourage them to make those improvements. But overall, we've made a lot of headway in the last 6 years. Obviously, everybody knows about the new school that's opening in September. We're all thrilled about the new middle school. And we can say that, we have a nice plan for all the other buildings. So on the motion to approve the committee report, Madam President.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, item 39 was filed by Councilor McGrath-Smith, ordered that City Council review CP.
38.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Just kidding. Totally skipped that. 38 was the committee, the joint committee, City Council and School Committee, that the Superintendent of Schools please update joint committee on any updated plans for school department headquarters in light of their decision not to go forward with proposed High Street location. Recommended that the order has been complied with. Councilor Jordan.
Yeah, motion that the committee report be received and adopted.
Motion's been made and seconded to receive and adopt. Under discussion.
Yes, abbreviated committee report here. As counselors will recall, last year in finance, vis-a-vis about April, we had, we're doing the due diligence process. At that time, the mayor, the treasurer, the superintendent had come forward to us to say, we did a sort of plan A, plan B, plan C analysis to move the headquarters out of 57 Suffolk Street over to the diagonal building here, the old bank building diagonally across from City Hall. Ultimately, the decision was decided not to go forward because that building was apparently no longer available. I would think they wanted to pay something in the order of about $850,000 for the building. As it turns out, the building is, and I believe it still is to this day, available and on the market. I believe the price has been reduced to bids of approximately $150,000, but apparently the decision has been made by by the administration not to pursue that any further, and so that is no longer a desired choice to go there. The superintendent stated they're not sure where they're going at this point. They're evaluating other options up to and including staying at 57 Suffolk Street, and what should we do about that? We encouraged the superintendent, though, to make a decision that, there was a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. So plan A got a lot cheaper, but apparently is no longer desired by the people who were advocating for plan A. Plan B, which was to acquire 57 Suffolk Street, that plan is perhaps being looked at. And Plan C, to go to Metcalf, is not an option anymore for the reason I stated in the earlier committee report. We have new plans for Metcalf School. There's now a unofficial D, which is possibly going down to Dean, but the flip side of that is the drawdown to that option is there's another move afoot, which is a very good move afoot, to use Dean more for vocational education. There's a renewed interest by students throughout the area, as well as in Holyoke, to have a vocational education, and they would like to encourage and incentivize, a vocational education, so they think they can get more students in there. So we don't want to use it for administrative offices. The building was for students. So punchline is school department leadership and the mayor need to come before city council at some point with a plan of what we're doing. Because I think for some reason, somehow, critical mass was obtained and now lost as to what is the future of 57 Suffolk Street again. And we don't have a clear plan, and they're thinking it over. So hopefully we'll be hearing from leadership at some point as to where we're going. But for now, we continue to pay about $165,000-ish per year rent. And that's where we stand today. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, so the motion was that the order has been complied with. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Now we're on item 39, and that is filed by Councilor McGrath-Smith. Order that the City Council review CPA committee recommendations and approve funding for fiscal year 25 CPA projects. Councilor McGrath-Smith, do you want that sent to
To finance.
Finance? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item 40 was filed by myself, that the city council issue a proclamation to Gina Nelson, Executive Director of Community Roots Neighborhood Services for the Veterans Lunch Program. Motion was to receive and adopt. Under discussion, Councilor Devine?
You have that proclamation of
Your microphone's not on, I don't think. Your microphone, is it on? It's okay.
You have the proclamation up there, and I put the 18th, so you may want to wait till April to have her come in.
Yeah, so I'm going to coordinate with her,
Okay.
and I'll let everyone know.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? And thank you for doing the proclamation.
Very happy to do
Appreciate it. Anyone else? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Item 41 is filed by Councilor Bacon. Order that the American flag protocol is followed for flags at public schools such as McMahon, other city property, including lighting the flag or bringing the flag in each night and putting it up in the morning.
You received and sent to the superintendent?
Second.
Under discussion, is there anything you wanted to add, Councilor Bacon?
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to mention that this came through partly from a constituent request, and so I just wrote it as a more general order. So I think that would be fine for it to go over to the superintendent. Thanks.
Thank you. Motion was to receive and send to the superintendent. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Madam President, if I might.
Yes. Councilor
If we could
Devine.
take up, motion to take up item 42, 47, 49, 51, 52, and 53 to go to finance.
Second.
Let me just make sure I got them all. 42,
Yep.
47, 49, 51, 52, 53.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. Hold on one second. All right. 42 is filed by Councilors Bacon and Jordan. Ordered that the treasurer and auditor provide the city council with an update timeline for the certification of free cash. 47, filed by Councilor Devine, is ordered that the city council accept the provisions of the Burns State Crisis Intervention Program, $84,458.79 and no match. 49 is filed by Councilor Devine, and it's a transfer request for $25,000 from capital stabilization to HPD capital outlay building improvements. Sorry, 51 is a transfer request for $5,000 from police reserve to out-of-state travel. 52 is filed by Councilor Devine. It's a transfer request of $5,000 from DPW hoisting equipment operator to out-of-state travel. And 53 filed by Councilor Devine. It's a $5,000 transfer from firefighter line to out-of-state travel.
Motion that they go to finance.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay. Hold on, I just want to make sure I'm not. Okay, then that brings us back to 43, right? Filed by Counselor Bartley, ordered that Schedule B, compensation for elected officials of Chapter 2, Code of Ordinances be amended as follows. City Clerk, $90,000.
Ordinance, please.
Sent to Ordinance.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 44, filed by Counselor Devine and Givner, ordered that the Board of Health, Zoning, Planning, Animal Control Officer, Law Department meet with the Ordinance Committee to discuss Ordinance Section 14 and Section 12. Send to Ordinance.
Be received and sent to ordinance.
Receive, send to Ordinance. Thank you, guys. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 45 was filed by Counselor Devine, ordered that the city engineer determine if a block the box is warranted at Columbus Avenue and Northampton Street.
Receive
Refer
and
to
send to the
city
city
engineer.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 46 was filed by Counselor Devine, ordered that the law department determine, render an opinion as to whether DPW supervisors and employees can ticket those cars, trucks that are impeding snow removal and plowing during a legal parking ban.
Be received and sent to the law department.
Second.
Council, under discussion, Counselor Bartley.
Yeah, may I just offer a very friendly amendment?
Absolutely.
That this go to a committee for discussion. So I don't, it may be public safety or maybe finance, whatever the maker of the order wants to do. But I think this is a very, it needs to have a discussion once the opinion comes in. You can't just let that sit. So this should be referred to committee.
Do you have a preference, maker of the order, Counselor Devine?
I thought we could pass it tonight, but, and we're probably not going to be using it. Hopefully, the snow is gone and we won't have to ticket anybody. But, I mean, if that's the pleasure, we definitely need a law department opinion. The health department can issue tickets, the police, obviously, I think the fire department, and this was just an additional thing. So whether it goes to public safety with a copy to the law department is fine with me.
Okay, sounds good. Counselor Givner, do you want to add anything?
I was just gonna recommend the same.
Okay, so we'll send it to public safety
Yeah, with a copy to the law department.
with a copy to the law department. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Then we will go to 48. Yes.
Okay.
Because we did 47. 48 is filed by Counselor Devine. It's ordered that there be a transfer of $9,981.52 from captain and lieutenants to injured on duty. I do have a note here that this represents 3 firefighters.
Yeah, I have a captain, a lieutenant. Let's see. 3, yep, you're right.
Is
So,
there
motion to pass this tonight.
motion to suspend the rules
Yep.
and
pass
take
this.
final action this evening?
Took it, yeah, this is a tabled item from last meeting, or,
Yes,
okay. So we're taking it off
we're taking it off the table,
and passing the first reading?
and tonight, yeah, we're taking it off the table to pass the first reading, take final action this evening.
Okay.
Is there other discussion? Wait. Okay, Counselor Bartley, did you just have your hand up?
I did.
Counselor Bartley.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job. And then the other comment I was going to say is relative to 2 things. One, all of these are on the table. I just kind of let it go because it was just going to bog the meeting down. So we're just, you can make a blanket motion, okay?
A blanket, entertain a motion to take all the items that were laid on the table off
We're all
the
on the
table.
table.
All those in
We
favor?
haven't taken-
Aye.
Okay.
Okay,
Any
all right.
opposed?
I think we forgot at some point.
I think-
That's okay, we're good.
I just wanted,
That's what we meant.
Thank
That's what
you.
we meant.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Counselor.
I just wanted to keep moving, but just relative to the gentlemen and gentleladies that are on the ILD, it's all well and good to have the number. Why is it that we don't have our estimated return to duty? Do we receive that information? I'm just asking the chair.
I've never,
Sure, yeah, we don't, I think we get the names.
yeah.
Yeah, the names, that's what I thought. So the names are on the,
Yeah, the back of the order.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in names, obviously, but I'm more interested in the estimated return to duty. I mean, so just if I can make a point.
Yeah.
This is passed, this became an order, so we have to track this stuff. Okay, it truly just bogs down the meeting. But if we get information, not only do we quantify the number of public safety officers that are on the ILD and the amount and their rank, it would be kind of at least helpful to me, maybe no one else, as to what's our estimated return to duty. Now, this seems like a very small number, which is great, but I was hopeful maybe we could, for future meetings, at least solicit that information and publicize it if at all possible.
the administrative assistant and I can check in with the chiefs and see what we're allowed to share with you and see what we can include on the next, like going forward.
Yep.
Anyone else? Okay.
Motion to pass the first reading?
Motion to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to pass the second
Second.
reading?
Motion to pass the second reading. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting for item 48.
Bartley?
Yes.
Devine?
Yes.
Givner?
Yes.
Rainey?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
McGrath Smith?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, Murphy Ramboletti?
Yes.
Ocasio? Israel Rivera?
Yes.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Bacon?
Yes.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Thank you. Okay, item 49.
That was sent to finance, I think.
Oh, right.
Already. Yeah, that was one of the ones
Yeah.
that,
Thank you.
um,
Okay, item 50.
Madam President,
Yep.
I've been asked
Counselor
to give
Devine.
that leave to withdraw.
Okay.
Second.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to give item 50 leave to withdraw. Just to read into the record, it's transfer request for $108,695.56 from Canvas Stabilization to Solicitor Claims and Damages. Motions to give it leave to withdraw. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Item 51 is filed by Counselor Devine, ordered that there be, oh,
I think that's finance.
you're right.
54 now.
We're up to 54.
Thank you.
Or,
Okay, item 54, filed by Counselor Givner. In the interest of transparency, order that the Collins Center for Public Management present its findings on payments in lieu of taxes. I won't read the whole order if that's okay, but send to DGR, Counselor Givner.
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry, Counselor Jordan.
Is there a report that we could see in advance, or is there something out there?
should have that.
Can't that be for committee?
Oh, okay, we
Yeah,
already,
that's gonna
I mean-
come to committee.
oh, it's already been circulated? Okay. I just want to read the report.
It might, yeah.
There's no circulation. We're trying to get the report. We're asking
55.
for it.
Oh, okay. You're trying to get a copy of the report, or?
We want them to share information and send it to the committee. That's the order.
Got it. I
Okay,
see.
thank you. Counselor Devine?
Yeah, I'm on that committee with the mayor
Yep.
and a couple other people, and we are meeting tomorrow, I believe, so hopefully we'll have more to give out.
Okay, thank you. Send to DGR. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 55, filed by Counselor Givner. In an effort to promote efficiency while upholding quality of life standards, order that the city council invite department heads involved with permitting in to review the special permit processes. Send to DGR for discussion with a copy to ordinance for updates. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Item
57.
Finish the first.
57.
57.
Oh, 56.
We already did that.
We're now on our agenda.
57. We made it.
Samuel
Your
Taylor?
last meeting.
We're now on tonight's agenda.
You got the wrong agenda.
Congratulations, everyone.
The wrong agenda?
Yeah.
The slow clap, everyone.
Good job.
We're on-
I like a good slow clap.
We're on
All right.
57.
Look at that.
Oh.
Okay, communications. We have item 57 is a letter from the mayor appointing Samuel Mateo of 26 Orchard Street to serve as a commissioner of the license board. Send to public service.
Service.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 58 is a letter from the mayor reappointing Willie Spradley of 8 Ross Road to serve on the Citizens Advisory Committee.
Suspend our rules and reappoint Mr. Spradley,
Second.
or Willie Spradley.
Yep. Motion's been made and seconded to suspend the rules, take final action tonight to reappoint Mr. Spradley to the Citizens Advisory Committee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Mr. Spradley, for your service.
Very nice.
Item 59 is the minutes from the February 18th meeting.
Be received and adopt.
Could we table those until we have the
Second.
Charter and Rules Committee meeting?
Second.
Sure, you want to, table them?
Just table 59 for now, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Motion's been made and seconded to table item 59. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion to suspend the rules, take 60, 61, and 62 as a package.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to suspend the rules, take items 60, 61, and 62 together as a package and send to, or receive.
Motion to
sorry.
receive and send to finance.
Receive and send to finance. I'll read them briefly. They're all from our city auditor. 60 is the fiscal year 25 sewer enterprise year-to-date budget versus actuals. 61 is from the auditor, community preservation fund financial status. 62 is the fiscal year 25 general fund year-to-date budget versus actual. Receive and send to finance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. 63 is from Alicia Zoller. CDBG funding recommendations from Citizen Advisory Committee and OCD.
Motion to receive.
Motion to receive. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we skip down to 68.
Motion to suspend rules and take 68, 69 as a package, please.
Motion has been made and seconded to suspend the rules, take 68 and 69 as a package. They're both, one is from Parks and Rec. It's the Elms College contract for 2025. The other is also from the Parks and Rec Commission, which is the contract for the 2025 season. Refer
DGR,
to
please.
DGR. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item 70 is the Holyoke draft pilot report.
DGR?
Motion to send to DGR. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to take 71 and 72 together as a package, as their meeting minutes, and the motion be to receive them both.
All right, motion's been made and seconded to take items 71 and 72 together as a package and send both to, or receive both. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay. President's report.
Already?
I know, right? Just to torture you all, I'll read mine from the last meeting. No, I'm just kidding. It's not relevant anymore. But this is your reminder, last call, RSVP for the Ambassador's Breakfast. It's on parade day in the morning, nice and early. Forms are available in the back conference room. Jeffrey is on the parade committee, so he can take your form and your payment to the parade committee. I'm also on the parade committee. Happy to do it as well. But if you do it yourself, let Jeffrey know so that he has a count of who's going. And if you do go, that's also just a reminder that you have the opportunity to take the shuttle from Wyckoff to Kmart Plaza in the morning. The tickets are $25, and you get a breakfast. It's a great way to kick off the day. And also, it is also the last call for the JFK Awards dinner, which is the night before the parade on Saturday. So visit the website. That's what I do on the parade committee, everyone. I update the website. So if it's wrong, it's me. The second reminder is that parade delegation award winners, the AOH, will join us at the next meeting. So we're in good shape to get everything done tonight. So there's no carryover. And Jeffrey wanted to let you know that everyone has received a very early calendar invite for a ribbon cutting at Peck, which is planned for August 13th and a rain date of August 14th. So put that in your calendars. I did need to read, one thing I did need to read at the last meeting that I will read right now is just that there was a request for the Tourism Advisory Committee to meet at 4 p.m. At their meeting on February 18th. So both the mayor and I had to approve that, and I am informing the public that that happened in order to abide by the rules. I have one more reminder, I think. Hold on. No, I guess not. I think that's it. Cool. Anyone else? Does anyone have anything to add? Councilor Bartley.
I really appreciate you bringing up the event on the 18th. I just want to ask through the chair to Jeff, I know they're all aware, but just remind the parade committee, it's on their calendar now. It's on the AOH's calendar, on their newsletter. It's a tremendous thing that yours truly started 11 years, or however it was, a number of years ago. Last year we had the Manchester Pipe Band. They were phenomenal. This year we got the great Holyoke Caledonian Pipe Band coming back, bigger and better than ever. And I just encourage, and I'm pretty confident I'm going to get them prior to our event at 7 p.m. to a local establishment at 5 p.m. So we'll see if I can pull that off or not, but I think I can. And then I really encourage people to tune in, or better yet, even attend the event. If you want to hear music and fills this room, it's a tremendous sound. And it only lasts for 20 minutes, so it's not like you have to endure it. But hopefully you'll tune in or at least, or maybe even stop by, because I think it's worth your time. Thanks.
Thank you. And just, you reminded me with the AOH, this past weekend was the flag raising for the month of March, and that was nice, and we were joined by the AOH who organized it, so thank you to them for that. That was a good day. Okay. Anyone else?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Councilor Greeny.
Yeah, is there any plans for the council delegation to march in the parade this year?
As usual, sir, yes, indeed. Wouldn't miss it, of course. Everyone's obviously invited. If you need special accommodations, let us know as soon as possible. And we'll communicate with everyone prior to the event about when you got to get there and all that good stuff. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So now we're going to do reports of committees. And the first committee tonight is the Ordinance Committee. The item 73, Committee on Ordinance, to whom is referred an order in service of our museum goers, order that Wisteria-Hearst Museum patron parking signs be added from handicapped spaces. Recommended that the order has been complied with. Councilor Rivera.
Yes. So my understanding was that the museum was trying to identify particular spaces for museum goers, similar to the process as we do for handicap spaces. Unfortunately, the handicap is already a special permit, and it's already a situation where we're kind of teetering on a line where we're not supposed to be identifying parking spaces to individual residents, but through the handicap, how do you say it, piece that we have, our ordinance, we've been able to do that. We took it up, we had a conversation, and we voted, I believe it was 5-0 for it to be complied with, just because we kind of have the conversation. But I do want to acknowledge what Councilor McGrath-Smith brought up with regards to us complying with things that we don't actually comply with. And in the future, I think that may be something that we talk about. We didn't want to deny it to sound mean in a sense, but technically we talked about it and we took it up, so it was complied with. Yeah, we recommend that the order is complied with. We had the conversation, but we will not move forward with granting them the extra spaces.
Okay. Anyone else want to add anything? Thank you, Counselor. So on the motion, the order has been complied with. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Item 74, Committee on Ordinance, to whom was referred an order that a handicap sign be placed at 15 Davis Street. Recommended that the order be adopted. Counselor Rivera.
Just like most of the other, well, all the other handicap signs that go through the process, it was vetted by the Disabilities Commission, and the recommendation was sent to us for it to be adopted, and it was voted in 5-0 by the counselors on the committee for the order to be adopted. So whenever you're ready, I'm ready to pass the first reading.
Second.
So the motion was made and seconded to pass the first reading. Anyone else want to add anything under discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to pass the second
Second.
reading.
Motion to pass the second reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion that the passage be ordained.
And the motion that the passage be ordained, the clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you are voting to approve the handicap sign installation.
Bartley?
Yes.
Devine?
Yes.
Givner?
Yes.
Graney?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
McGrath-Smith?
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti?
Yes.
Ocasio? Israel Rivera?
Yes.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Bacon?
Yes.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Thank you. Thank you, Ordinance. 75 is the Committee on Development and Government Relations, to whom was referred an order from Alicia Zoller, the CDBG allocation spreadsheet. Recommended that the allocation recommendations and the resolution accepting the home funds be adopted. Counselor Givner.
I'd like to make a motion to take 85 along with this.
Okay. Motion to suspend the rules and take up item, 85?
Yes.
You said?
Yep.
Take 85 together as a package. All those in favor?
Aye.
Let me just read 85. Filed by Councilor Sullivan, that the City Council, on behalf of the voters and taxpayers of our city, urge the mayor to use the remaining $1.5 million of ARPA funds for use by the DPW sewer system projects. Councilor Givner.
Thank you, Madam President. So our last meeting in DGR was basically a CDBG recommendation meeting where Alicia came in and explained to us how the process works and shared with us, I mean, this was shared with everyone prior to this meeting, but she shared the spreadsheets that show what the amounts of the requests from all the individuals asking for funding, the Office of Community Development's recommendation for funding from what's available, the Citizens Advisory Council's recommendation for how to use the funds, the mayor's recommendations, and then finally our DGNR committee recommendations. So out of the different projects. So it's broken down into non-public service proposals and public service proposals or social services. It's also broken into administration and planning, which is basically how that how the Office of Community Development is funded. So all in all, the allocation estimate was 1.2 million, with specific funds being available for the different categories. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone has had a chance or is probably looking at this spreadsheet, but the DGR committee recommended that out of the non-public service proposals, that the full allotted amount of $799,595 go to the Department of Public Works for sewer infrastructure, sidewalks, and ADA ramps. We had a lengthy discussion about funding no longer coming towards the city and how important infrastructure projects are. So, you know, as we all know, there's a lot of really important projects on here. We had the Holyoke Redevelopment Authority, Wayfinders, Habitat for Humanity, Revitalize CDC, the Fire Department, the Office of Community Development, Wisteria Hearst, the Parks and Rec Department, and Holyoke Public Schools. With that being said, we felt as if if we don't get our infrastructure in order and figure out ways to pay for it, none of the rest is really going to matter. So as much as we felt that all these projects were very deserving, we felt that, you know, as important as it is to fund public spaces, if our infrastructure is falling apart, it kind of won't matter how many playgrounds we have that are looking really cool and bright. So that's how we felt about that. And that was part of the reason why Councilor Sullivan just now added what was it, 84 to this?
85.
85 to this,
But-
because of the discussion in there, sorry.
But a separate,
Right.
same discussion, but separate vote.
So that was for the non-public service proposals. For the public service proposals, we agreed with the mayor's proposals, which included monies to Girls Inc., Holyoke Safe Neighborhood Initiative, Holyoke Hockey Club, Holyoke Parks Department, the YMCA, Western Mass Elder Care, the Office of Community Development, Providence Ministries, and that was the total for public services, and the allocation was $184,522. So, yeah, that's what we recommended. You have it in your spreadsheet, and this was recommended that it be received and sent to City Council with our recommendations for funding to the mayor.
Okay, great, thank you. Other comments? Councilor
I
Bartley.
want to compliment the committee. I think they did a great job.
Thank you, Councilor Bartley. Anyone else? Okay.
Oh,
Yes, Councilor Bartley.
compliment the Citizens Advisory Committee too, because they
Yeah, they
also
do the work.
did a lot of work. And you notice the committee, with rare exception, really followed the recommendation of the Citizens Advisory Committee. So they ought to be credited for their stellar volunteer work.
Absolutely. Okay, so we want to take two separate votes, was that what I heard? Or Councilor Sullivan?
Yeah, so, to the President, through the Chair,
Yeah.
we need first of all, we need a vote to, that the City Council resolve to accept the 2025 annual plan.
Okay,
So that's a completely separate vote than what we agree on.
okay,
And that's, the annual plan is the allocation of the HUD funds. Holyoke gets 52.8%, Chicopee gets 32.1%, and Westfield gets 15.1%. This is the annual procedural thing we do. So this is a separate vote that I think we forget it each year and has to come back to us again. So maybe
Okay.
not the first time this.
And
Finding that.
I would assume a roll call vote?
Yes,
Yeah, so,
Yes.
it has to be on a roll call vote.
yeah. So just to be clear,
I'll
we have
second
to accept the resolution to the city council adopting the annual plan.
Okay, so that's the first motion, is to approve the resolution.
To the city council adopting the FY 2025 annual plan covering the community development block grant program and home investment partnership home program.
Is there a second?
Second,
Okay. So the clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting to accept the resolution for the city's annual plan for CDBG and home.
Bartley?
Yes.
Devine?
Yes.
Givner?
Yes.
Graney?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
McGrath Smith?
Yes.
Raffirin Belletti?
Yes.
Ocasio?
Yes.
Israel Rivera?
Yes.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
yes.
Bacon?
Yes.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Okay, with that, you've approved it.
I would make a motion that that we accept the committee's recommendations on the allocation.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded to accept the committee's recommendations on the allocations for CDBG and home. Is there any other discussion? Okay. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you are voting, well, go for it. Voting to approve the allocation recommendations.
Bartley?
Yes.
Devine?
Yes.
Givner?
Yes.
Graney?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
McGrath Smith?
Yes.
Raffirin Belletti?
Yes.
Ocasio?
Yes.
Israel Rivera?
Yes.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes,
Bacon?
Yes.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Thank you. And thank you, DGR.
and on 85,
Yep.
I'd like to make a motion that we receive and adopt and send to the mayor a resolution.
Second.
Okay. Motion has been made and seconded to receive and adopt and send to the mayor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, sorry, under discussion.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is regarding the remaining ARPA funds that we have. We have 1.5 million in ARPA funds left. It's the reason I'd like to receive and adopt. It's the exact same reasoning as we used in the CDBG, just to send the, it's, as we all know, we have no vote on this, we have no say on it, there's no financial transfer. It's just a recommendation to the mayor. The ultimate authority is where all of the money goes, rests in his hands alone, but that all of it goes to infrastructure.
Counselor Bartley and then Counselor Jordan.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to fully support this order. I just want to point out that it's my understanding that the 1.5 million was just a month or so, maybe 2 months ago, was actually $2 million, and those are the funds that were reallocated from MIFA. I am in the process, I don't fully grasp it yet, but I'm in the process of trying to understand how the 2 million became 1.5 million. Councilor Sullivan's quite right. We don't have much of a say, but the party that does have a lot of say committed to transparency. Now, I don't remember anything relative to an announcement on what happened with what I think is the gap between the 1.5 and the 2 million. But I am working on trying to understand that, and when I do, I'll circle back. But I don't want that to slip, because that's how the 1.5 plus interest is on Councilor Sullivan's order. But I hope it's our collective recollection that MIFA received $2 million. So you can't just ignore the fact that it's $500,000 less. I can't ignore the fact that there was no announcement about the $500,000. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Jordan.
Yeah, actually, one of my questions was what happened to the 500,000, but I was under the impression that even though this, like CDBG, which is ultimately the mayor's say as to who gets what, they were still going to follow the process for these reallocations. So, for example, there was going to be, okay, we're reprogramming the two, that there would be either some sort of recommendation process that the council throughout ARPA was always consulted for our recommendation before the money was actually spent, all the $39 million. So what happened if the 500,000 went off the boat somehow, somewhere along the way, without a recommendation from the council? It just seems like the last couple of million, there was no recommendation process. So I'm glad you filed this, because I don't know where we're at in the process with this remaining $2 million. And then at the end of the day, the third point I wanted to make was even if we have no vote per se as to where it's spent, these are all public information as to who got the money, right? I mean, these are public funds, so there's no question as to ultimately the final accounting, once it's all done, should be out there in the end, this organization got X, this organization got Y, this organization gets Z, and Alicia is charged and they're being paid an admin fee to, articulate and give a final report as to where all the money ended up. So at some point, I guess we'll find out where the other 500,000 went.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Is there anyone else? Oh, I'm sorry, I had you on my list, Councillor McGrath-Smith.
From my understanding, the $2 million has already been reprogrammed into cost overruns and gaps that were created in the original programming. And so the 1.5 million that is currently moving through this process is all investment income. And that's why, in fact, there's more flexibility in a lot of ways in terms of timelines and deadlines, because it's all interest income, what we're looking at here. But I would happily, I would love more information myself. I'd happily co-file an order with anyone interested to ask Alicia Zoller to come in and just give us an update on how that $2 million was reprogrammed around the gaps in cost overruns. I'm not shocked that happened. I mean, as we were going through the process through CPA and any number of other projects, costs were skyrocketing in the middle of projects, and a lot of applicants were coming back and saying, hey, it's 25% more than it was going to be, but here it is. And I'm not shocked that that's what happened with the totality of the ARPA funding that we had, which was a high number. That $2 million was reprogrammed in that way. And that's my understanding. But I would really like more information in terms of how much money was reprogrammed to each of the existing projects, and making sure that it does total the $2 million that we're being told was reprogrammed for MIFA.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? All right, on the motion
Receive, adopt, and send to the mayor.
Second.
to receive, adopt, and send to the mayor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you.
Can we mark that as unanimous?
Yeah, because I didn't hear any opposed, so. Okay, so now we're on 76. The Committee of Charter and Rules referred an order that the City Council amend its rules to identify which committees certain licenses should be sent to, and which, just to ensure clarity, consistency, recommended that the order be adopted. Councillor McGrath-Smith.
Thank you. I want to first thank everyone who came to the Charter and Rules meeting yesterday. We had a really great conversation. I want to express my gratitude to all of you for that. We went through a number of rules changes, and I think we came up with some really good revised language. 76, the issue with licenses is that in our rules, it's pretty clear that they really should all go to finance, but really, by precedent, we'd been sending, other licenses to the DGNR committee. So we thought it just made sense to revise Rule 9B5 to include street vendor licenses. And you can see that in the highlighted text underneath the rule change there on 76, if you have the page in front of you. That's it.
Thank you. Is there any other comments or discussion? Councillor Bartley?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
just what's our motion? Is it just to receive the adopt the committee report?
Which is to make the rule change, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, I second that motion.
All right. Seeing no other discussion on the motion to receive and adopt the rule change to
Rule 9B.
9B. Just want to make it clear. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Item 77 is the Committee on Charter and Rules. Order that all ordinances and charter rules reflecting City Council subcommittee meeting notices be updated to reflect acceptance of email as sufficient method of notice and city website posting as sufficient method of public notice. Recommended that the order be adopted. Councillor McGrath-Smith.
The motion would be to approve the committee report, which is to approve the rules change.
Second.
We had a great conversation in this, around how we need to modernize it, particularly around it being very clear that it was very much about mailing it, but also wanting to create more flexibility also. So we named it electronic delivery. We were specific not to say email, but electronic delivery. It might change over time, what people call it or what the methods are. So we were trying to create something that would have flexibility for the future, at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of the meeting, because it's open meeting law. We said members of the city council may elect to alternatively receive all such notices by mail or to their city hall desk by designating their preference to the clerk or the assistant to the city council. This rule will apply to subcommittee meetings and regular city council meetings. And I'll name that the mail piece was interesting. I want to express my thanks to our assistant Jeffrey, who did a little action research and went to the whole, post office and had a whole conversation with them around how long does it take to mail something, and is there a way to just do local mailing? And there is actually. So I think that's really good for us to know, and for our assistant and clerk to know, and also for maybe even the members of the public to know that you can go to the post office and say this is for local delivery only. There's a different bin, and they will not send it all the way down to Hartford and then all the way back up. And so a little bit of action research, I say, because then Councilor Ocasio had just gotten something mailed on Friday. She was like, oh, and I got it Saturday. Well, so that's cool, 24-hour turnaround. If you will go in person, right, and specify that it has to go in the local bin. So that was neat information to get. And then I think should give us some more comfort, I think, because there was some worry when we talked about this a couple times that we're trying to meet open meeting law requirements, and yet now that our mail system was really slowing down and moving everything to Hartford and back, there were people that were not getting their agendas within 48 hours of them being postmarked. And so it's a good thing, I think, to now know that we can use that local option. And thank you, Jeffrey, for discovering that. Appreciate it. And the other piece is just we had to change from mailbox to desk because we don't have specific mailboxes here, but we do have desks, and it made way more sense for things to be delivered there than to a place that we currently don't have designated.
Thank you. Is there anything else to add? Okay. Just to clarify, you have to go into the post office and go to the counter and tell them that it's local. And Jeffrey, you're such a gem. Thanks for going above and beyond. We appreciate it. So on the motion, I'm sorry, Councilor Bartley.
You know, I this is definitely a generational gap. I actually had a client, she's in her 20s. I asked her to go to mail something. She said, literally, I've never been in a post office. What do I do?
Oh, I love the post office.
That's semi-frightening. But you know what? But she did it. She managed to do it. I'm real proud of her. Second off, you should go to the counter, but because the Holyoke Post Office thinks ahead a little bit, there is a slot for local delivery. So what they'll do is they will take everything out of the bin and they will cancel the mark with the Holyoke stamp on it. That way there, it doesn't have to go ship to Hartford and use with their multi-million-dollar machine that's, of course, it's a waste of government resources, but that's why they do these things. So everything goes to Hartford so they can justify the machine that they spent millions of dollars on just to have it come back to Holyoke. So you do have those various options.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Copy.
Got it.
On the motion.
On the motion to receive the committee report and adopt the rule change. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? So moved.
All right.
Item 78 was the committee charter and rules. Order that the following section of our codes of ordinances and charter be updated to reflect the use of email as sufficient for special meeting notice. Recommended that the order be adopted. Counselor McGrath-Smith.
Yes, although I will explain this, but the motion here is actually going to be to table. And the reason why is because we have to go through a home rule petition process, and we have to, for this, wait for that to be approved before we can, in fact, then make this rules change. So the rules change itself is very simple. It is exactly what the last one was that we just talked about. The only difference is that this is related to special meetings instead of regular meetings and subcommittee meetings. And because of that, as special meetings are named in our charter. In fact, the language that we have in our rules that we're modifying came directly from our charter. It was just pasted in there. And so because we're modifying our charter, we have to go through the home rule petition process. Now, we could, as a body, decide to go ahead and start sending this through the process. But because we know there are other charter changes that we are going to be pursuing over the next 2 months connecting to creating a Department of Finance, creating the combined tax collector treasurer role. My suggestion is that we wait and that we've done this work. It is good work. Let's table it in council and keep it so that when we are ready with the other pieces, we can send them together as a package rather than continue, send this, have to track it all the way through, ask our legislators to do all that work for us, and then turn around and give them Part B. That's my suggestion. I'm happy to modify that if it's the will of the body to just send this one the way that it is. That could be reasonable, but that's my current thinking, that we should effectively, I don't know if we can approve and table, or if we just want to.
Motion.
It would be table, but hold on 1 second. I saw Counselor Bartley has his hand up.
Well, first off, I want to make I am going to make a motion to amend this because it says the mayor may call a special meeting. Well, it should be the mayor and the city council president because that's what our rules say. I don't know why that wasn't inserted in there, but I left the meeting because I had to deal with stuff. But so that's going to be my motion. If I could just get a quick second on that way. Okay, thank you. And then under discussion.
Under discussion.
I would absolutely not wait. I would get this thing rolling now because to me, you're better off just getting this thing going. For example, we've had multiple ordinance meetings without once taking up the treasurer and reworking it. So gosh knows when that's going to happen. I don't think that this very fine order should be tabled to wait on somebody else. That we can send them to Boston one at a time or 10 together. What's the difference? So, I mean, that's just my 2 cents. It looks like I'm going to get outvoted on that one, but I will not support tabling that tonight. But I do want to act on my motion for the simple reason that our rules already have the president of the council being allowed to call special meetings. So I think that just makes sense. Thank you.
Could I respond?
Yeah, you might be saying the same thing I will, so I will let you go first. Go ahead.
Let's see. I was going to say, I think it's only because that we took the language directly from the charter, which says only the mayor. And so I think that's absolutely fine if we want to amend it. I think just in the group, we were very much focused on just what the charter itself said. But if it's the will of the committee to change it and amend it to include or the president of the city council, I'm more than happy to do so.
Okay. Any other discussion on that?
Madam President?
I'm sorry, Councilor Bacon.
Thank you. I'm fully in support of the amendment as proposed. And I also thought we were recommending tonight to move forward with the home rule petition, but keep the change to the ordinance tabled in committee until the home rule petition went through. So I remain in support of moving forward with the home rule petition. Thank you.
Okay. Counselor Jordan?
Yeah, just briefly, I think this is a good idea to add the city council president. When I was president, I had the rule put in that the council president, as crazy as this sounds, we actually had to get historically, forever, permission of the mayor to have a special meeting of the city council. And because that's the way the charter was written until we created the rule that allowed us to do it as well. There's actually even been some talk, and should we have it that a majority of the council could also be able to call special meetings of the city council. A lot of legislative bodies, we've never gone down that road, but something for the council to think about in the future is, right now it's mayor and council president, but most bodies, if you have a majority of the board, can also call a special meeting of that board. Is that something that we want to do? I don't know. We'll see. But so we may have a further amendment of this down the road, but that was touched upon at Charter and Rules the other night. So I did want to bring that up. But yeah, this is a good time since we're amending this section to add the mayor and the city council president. This is a fix that's long overdue.
Thank you. Counselor Devine?
Yeah, just, I agree.
Yes, good job.
But I just want
Good job. Again.
I just want to make a correction on line 2, where it says the following legislation for the perp. I think that's supposed to be purposes.
Where?
And then the other one is down under section 3. It doesn't make sense to me when it says so much of chapter 438 of the acts, blah, 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 blah. So I'm not sure why that was put in that way. 'Cause it doesn't-
Oh, you're talking about the language
Yeah.
that was included on the charter?
The committee was not able to review the language. This is new language to us tonight
Yes.
for the home rule petition, because we approved the creation of it last night. The language here is new.
Well,
Do we want to send
You
it
want
back
to
to
suspend the rules
committee?
and ask the law department? They drafted it, right?
How about we,
Yes.
How about we,
I
we
would,
table it and
I
review
would-
the language?
Yeah.
yeah, I would like to just
Let's do that.
just table it, and so that folks can have a couple weeks to look at the language, and then we can continue to send it onward.
On the amendment?
Oh, yes, thank you. So, motion to table with the amendment that we add the city council president, in addition to the mayor, calling a special meeting of the city council. Councilor Bartley,
Just
how
amend
is
the
that?
language, so the mayor
Or city council president.
and the city council president. That's the language under section
Okay.
12. The mayor and the president of the city council may at any time call a special meeting.
Got it. So,
Law.
for the proposed amendment, under discussion, Councilor McGrath-Smith.
Friendly amendment, could we change and to or, so there's no confusion that both are
Right.
required?
I agree.
The mayor or, sure.
Okay. So, so on the motion to add the mayor or the city council president may at any time call a special meeting, and we're laying this on the table.
Well,
Uh,
on the motion.
on the motion. Oh, for the amendment. Got it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And now the
Motion
motion
to
to lay
Motion to table.
78 on the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Thanks, everyone. Okay, 79 state and committee.
Whoopsie.
yep.
And, okay, so then 80 was the Committee on Charter and Rules, to whom was referred an order that the city council amend its rules to incorporate under section 3 or some other section the following state law. The public body or its chair designee shall review the minutes of executive sessions to determine if the provisions of this subsection warrant continued non-disclosure. Recommended that the order be adopted. Counselor McGrath-Smith.
Yes, the motion here is to approve the committee report and make the changes requested. The proposed amendment is under section 7A5. The current section says reading the journal of the previous meeting if requested by the city council. Some of the conversation we had just surrounded what it meant to modernize some of our language. In like a pre-electronic world, someone would stand at the lectern and like read through the handwritten notes from the previous meeting. And that was the way that you aired that the minutes did exist and had been taken, and they were called the journal, and now we call them minutes. So we wanted to change the language to kind of address the modernization side of it, as well as creating a placeholder for us to always be able to be reminded about pending executive session city council minutes, and have a place to then hear how they are progressing, which ones are ready for non-disclosure potentially, so that we know when to establish the next executive session. So we change it to review of regular and pending executive session city council minutes.
Is there any other discussion?
Well, I want to second that by discussion.
Yes, Councilor Bartley.
This is great. Thanks for everybody for taking this up. This is something I filed. It's just based upon, I just want to note, if I could, that this is pursuant to Chapter 38, Section 22G1. Sometimes it's helpful to future councils to realize where the language came from. I know it's been helpful to me when I see where these are amended and by what rule or law. So I just want to add that language somewhere in a parentheses, 38 section 22.
David,
May I do? Oh,
right in there.
oh, sugar. I'm just looking at the language on here.
Yeah, it's in there.
Well, that's in my order for sure. Councilor Devine's pointing out quite rightly it's in the order because I put it in there. But I just want to put on the Madam President on the template I saw. It doesn't show the, I want it to be in 7A. I want that to be in 7A. So that's my motion, that the reference to the state law be posted in 7A, please.
Okay.
I guess somebody's got a second.
Thank
you.
Under discussion?
So
Councilor McGrath-Smith.
through the president to Councilor Bartley. So the suggested language would be after minutes, parenthesis, per MGL chapter
Yeah, whatever it is.
30A, section 22G1, parenthesis.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, it's right. Yeah, just
Okay.
it's referenced right in there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
That's fine.
Simple.
Okay, on the motion, I'm not seeing any other discussion.
The motion would be to approve the amendment.
Yep.
Add that language.
We'll do that first. So add the language that it goes into 7A.
A.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And
On adoption of the rule as amended.
thank you. Motion's been made and seconded to adopt the rule as amended. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. 81, 82, and 83 stayed in committee. Thank you. If it's up next, motions, orders, and resolutions. If we're not voting on it tonight, we don't even need to talk about it because it's 9:50. 84, filed by both Councilors Rivera, McGrath-Smith, Bacon, Bartley. I'd actually like to be added to this as well.
So moved.
Thank you. Ordered that VCare and the city engineer be invited into DGR to discuss the companion order and ordinance committee concerning the issue of VCare's request of an additional parking spot.
Ordinance, please.
Sent to ordinance.
Go to DGR.
DGR.
Oh, sorry, DGR.
DGR.
Oh, yeah, that's at the.
Yeah, DGR, please.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Madam President,
Yes, Councilor Devine.
if we could take up item 90, 91, 92, and 93 and send that to finance, please.
Second.
Okay, hold on. 90, 91,
One. Oh, where'd I go?
90.
That's you, wait a minute. 90, 91, 92, and 93.
Together as a package and send
To finance.
to finance.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to suspend the rules, take items 90 through 93 together as a package and send to finance. 90 is a transfer request of $11,235. 91 is a transfer request for $20,000. 92 is a transfer request for $2,337.50. And 93 is a transfer request of $25,000. Send to finance. Counselor Bacon?
Thank you, Madam President. Once we're finished with this, can we go back to 86 and 87?
Yes, I had a note for that. No worries.
Thank you.
Yes. Send to finance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. 86 is filed by Counselor Bacon. Order that the Law Department please provide an annual report that was due in January per Ordinance 2-154. Counselor Bacon?
Madam President, if we could suspend the rules and take up 86 and 87 as a package and send them to the city solicitor?
Sure. Motion's been made and seconded to suspend the rules and take 86 and 87 as a package and send to the solicitor. So I read 86, but 87 is also filed by Counselor Bacon, that the city solicitor please immediately assign an assistant city solicitor to the city council to comply with our ordinance 2-156.1. Send to the law department. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. 88 is filed by Counselor Devine.
We already did that.
Oh, we did. We did. Thank you.
89.
So now we are on 94.
80. What about 89?
89?
Oh,
Just
send that
kidding.
to the, engineer.
All right, 89 is filed by Counselor Devine, that the city engineer study the possibility of having a raised crosswalk at the corner of Dwight and Main, receive and send to the city engineer.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now
94.
94.
Motion to pass the first reading.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to pass the first reading. I'll read it. 94 is a transfer request of $9,074.41 from captain, lieutenants, to injured on duty. I have a note that this represents 3 firefighters.
Correct.
Motion was to pass the first reading. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to pass the second reading.
Motion's been made and seconded to pass the second reading. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting to... Oh, we didn't do a vote to take final action tonight.
It's
Okay.
on the regular agenda.
Got it. Oh, that's right. That threw me off. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting in favor of the transfer in 94.
Bartley?
Yes.
Devine?
Yes.
Kivner?
Yes.
Graney?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
McGrath Smith?
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti?
Yes.
Ocasio?
Yes.
Israel Rivera?
Yes.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Bacon?
Yes.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Okay, with that, you've passed it. 97 is filed by, we did 95 and 96, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, 97 is filed by Counselor Givner. It's a handicap application from Yolanda Velasquez for 120 Oak Street. Sent to ordinance.
Ordinance.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? 98 filed by Counselors.
Done.
I think
Oh, yeah, you're right.
99.
99.
100 and 101.
99 to finance.
Second.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We didn't do 99. Okay, 99 is filed by Counselors Jordan and Bacon. Order that the treasurer, auditor, mayor, please come to finance to discuss why Schedule A, year-end reconciliation for fiscal year 24 has not yet been filed with the state. Sent to finance.
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, my goodness,
Motion to
yes.
adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, thanks.
I just wanted to.
Good night, everybody.
Yes?
Good night,
What's,
everyone.
oh, Counselor
What?
Sullivan?
It's all right. It's just a quick one. Since we got 2 weeks, 2 meetings done in one night, can we move to only meet once a month?
I think that sounds great. I would love nothing more.
File that as a rule.